I don't feel competent to do this. I don't think I'm able to do this. I don't think I can take this responsibility right now. I'm not sure if I'm capable. You know what? I think I'll leave this for the next time. And when I feel ready and prepared, we'll see. Does this sound good? Can I procrastinate a little bit more? Can I extend a little bit more the time before I decide? Okay, you are human. Of course you can. We need to see something here. Before we push someone to do something, we need to understand from where he or she is coming from. And this is where we understand the word balance. To feel confident about something, we need experience about something. The only way you can feel confident is because there is an experience of it. There is a subjective proof that this very thing that we want to do has a reality. Now, let me explain this and let me make it digestible. If I have never done one type of sport and you push me to do it, out of fear, out of not wanting to look like I'm less or I'm stupid or whatever you want to call it, or shame, I'll try all my best, but I will not be confident. So I will literally react to the situation. I'll do all my best. And even if you say it was okay, it's different. But when I have confidence, when I have done it, I've tested, I've become it, I have crossed the first line, which is the shame or the inhibition or the fear, then I can have the confidence in it. I'll give you an example. My case, starting a YouTube channel, one in Spanish, one in English. Spanish for me was like, okay, I can just take a cigarette, put it in my mouth, and post. Why? Because it's my home language. Easy. Easy? Hold on 1 second. Why is it easy? Because I've been speaking Spanish for 25 years. I was born in Nigeria. My first ABC was in English. My first 9 years until my mom passed was in pure English. So the confidence I have with one language and the other is because of the amount of repetition. It's because of the subjective experience on it. Now, I came to the UK and I am regaining again, I'm connecting to my first home language, which was English. And because I'm repeating it, hearing it, speaking with people, I am becoming much more confident when it comes to posting videos. So the shame I could have from the first impact of talking to a camera has gone. Why? Because I've done it again and again and again. So before we push someone to do something, let's see from which point he is or she is. Is he in the point of the first contact with it? Then we have to understand and we have to bring the only intention to understand. What happens when you try to understand something? Watch your energies. When you are listening deeply because you want to understand, watch your energies. You will feel calm. You will feel open. If you don't understand something, you say, excuse me, can you break this a little bit down into details? What happens? you are receptive. You become the receptor. You become a channel that really wants to allow information to flow. Why is this happening? Again, it comes from the state we find ourselves. So, confidence comes from subjective repetition. But before we want to test our confidence, we will test from which point we find ourselves. This is where I bring to this video the essence. My intention is to talk about the impact of emotions. Now, emotions and intellect. This video, you will love it, you will like it, and it will explain many things that they are very visible in your daily lives. So emotion and intellect, they are very peculiar, and they have some small signs that will help you to understand. Therefore, they will help you to see if when we want to feel confident, if we are not ready, if we are ready, if we feel confident, if we're not, if it seems like we're confident but it is not. Why? Emotions, they play a very, very big part in our life because emotions, they regulate. Literally, they are based on love and fear. So emotions, they are going to trigger in our daily lives the direction of where we want to go. Reason will justify why the means of what we are doing will justify the outcome that we are aiming for. For example, if I am driving a car, I'm going to the supermarket, reason will say he's driving because he wants to get something from the supermarket. Intellect, pure intellect. Emotions will tell me I'm hungry. If you don't buy milk or water or vegetables or whatever, you might be hungry. And if you are hungry, you know, you might have, this to deal with this. And if you don't eat, and it's a cycle. So emotions is like a belt. It seems like a small thing, but it brings a lot of thoughts and a lot of reactions in the body. So now, when it comes to emotion, in order to see the confidence, it might be a picture from the past. It might be a conclusion that we have to ourselves. It might be the way we speak to ourselves, what we expect from ourselves. Somebody might be done with one thing, someone doesn't even start having 100, depend on the emotion of desire. So someone might say, I accept my life as it is. Someone might say, I'm not setting for less. It will depend on the perspective of the person. Someone might feel hopeless, sorry, and another one might feel, the power of courage to keep continuing, and he believes. So emotions plays a huge game when it comes to understanding life. So when I want to understand, if I pretend to understand from logic, I am limited. Why? Because the reason, it allows me to survive, but it justifies. So the reason will justify that you are not feeling confident because you are not capable. You are not ready. It will tell you are not ready. And that's the reason. You cannot get it. It will go straight to the outcome. Or it might tell you reason. You feel like this because you want this. Because you want the outcome, you are experiencing this feeling. Okay, what will this fix for me? Intellectuality will just surround the thing without bringing a solution, without solving it deeply and properly. So it will justify why I feel the frustration, but will not bring me the solution. Whereas emotion, if we look at the feeling that we have, it can give us more message. So emotion can tell me, yes, Ralph, you feel confident when you record in Spanish because you have repeated again that language. You have become familiar with it. You have repeated so much times that right now you feel like it's going to flow. You don't have to think. So it will explain me, how do I feel when I speak in Spanish? How do I feel when I speak in English? So when I speak in English right now, I also feel confident. I also feel calm. Why? Because the emotion that is here is the emotion of service, of love to you that you are listening. I don't need to know you to share love and respect and service. So confident is straight. Because I have recorded videos as well, I have spoke to people in English, I am still learning, I am getting there. So emotions going to the feeling will tell me if it's the first contact of what I'm experiencing, and it will tell me what am I experiencing by the feelings. I record a video talking about this when it comes to fear and inhibition. The same thing, we will apply it in this case. So intellect is very pragmatic, is very useful. Science, physics, psychologies, philosophics, mathematics. Of course, reason is a bomb. Everything comes from reason, intellect, pure, mature reason. So don't get me wrong. But I'm saying when it comes to understanding, when we transcend reason and we go to emotions, we go to something that we cannot explain with language. We cannot give it a concept. We experience it subjectively. It's a game changer. So if I want to feel confident, I will see how I feel. And that will be the very message I need to understand what emotion is there. My self-esteem is low. I need to rest. I am judging myself from the past. I feel small because I've never done this. Because don't get me wrong, I had to face the energy before I started posting. I was judging myself. I had to face it and see the feelings and ask myself, is this happening? Have you done this before? But I didn't use a reason to explain it to me because it's limited. So to end this video, I hope it is digestible. Don't worry because I will continue to post and post, and all of them will always repeat energies: forgiving, compassion, love, regret, peace, reason. I will be refining and shaping it because the intention of this channel is that daily practices will be nourishing your soul to the point where you will be able to live a life that you don't need to wait for an outcome or for changes. You will become that life. This works for me and it will work for you. No matter what state you find yourself. Depends on how receptive, how open, and if you want to understand. That is the key of a communication. When we want to understand others, that's the breakthrough. That's the insight. Okay? So, to finish this video, I will share with you an example. It happens with me once with a very good friend, and he was a client. So he wanted to finish a book, okay, and it was like 4 years that was 4 years have already passed from the last time he was touching the book. So we met and I said, okay, what are the goals that you have that you think that they have jumped the ranking from up, they have, a fluctuation has changed your priorities. What are the goals that you had like the top of the list and now it seems like they're very low? One of them was to write a book. Okay, we kept digging. Instead of using logic, I said, what do you think is stopping you from continuing to write the book, to finish it and get it out there for the world? He said, I don't know, I'm busy, I'm a father, also I'm a teacher, I have this, I have to do this. Okay. From logic, he was justifying why he couldn't finish the book. But there was no solution to it. There was no hook to see the real barrier and what was behind and how to move and continue. And also to recognize if he needed to stop, if he needed to pivot, readjust. Now we went to emotions. Asking questions and digging, I got to the point where I said, let me ask you something if it's possible. Say yes. I said, you said you want to write this book. Say yes. Once you write it, what is coming? What comes after? I have to present it. Okay, you have to present it. So, and his face was changing. The shoulders were changing. He was getting tight. And what happens with the presentation? I have to speak in public. Okay, let's extract ourselves to that state. How do you feel? When I have to speak in public, I lose my voice. From emotion, we could go straight away to what was happening. He was feeling the constraint, the block. He stopped. Even in the conversation, he had difficulty to articulate the words instantly. This is how beauty the truth is. So both of us that we become one piece, we could see instantly what was stopping him. So it wasn't the fact that he was a father and he was busy. Yes, from reason we understand it. But it was the fact that he was scared of the consequences of speaking in public. That was what was stopping him at the core level. Sorry. And that was what was draining his confidence. So we could see if it was a starting point, if he had a repetition on it, he have never done it. And how can we push someone just, do the book and get out there and do the presentation? No, we cannot ignore the underlying feelings and emotions that stop him, that are really eclipsing his light. So, of course, what we did, we brought love. I told him to work during 10 days, pure love to himself, and to try to go to a coffee and go to a stranger and ask for the hour. And from there, just ask him how he or she had the day. And in his job, I asked him to try to have a meal with different type of people and ask them. So unconsciously, he was getting contact and he was repeating to stay with people. Therefore, he could develop the confidence that he needed to present his book. Now, thank God, he has done it. Everything is perfect. With love, compassion to understand that he is human, the humanity. When we feel scared, we feel blocked, and you can lose your voice, of course. acceptance to understand that we are experiencing it, and also the biggest energy of it, knowing that we are all facing the same. So love brought him again to his path. He's very happy. Also, he has in mind more small projects, and he can now cross the barrier. So this is the importance of confidence. I hope you like this video. I can't stop smiling because yeah, for me it was a big win to see how everything started and how it was changing. I am very happy for him, for my brother. I get a little bit emotional. But yeah, I hope this video works for you. Remember, your confidence is there always. We need to uncover and see what is the emotion that is stopping us. Take very good care, and thank you for this video.